Hey, Alex.
Hey, Elliot.
I want to propose a little rapid fire. Maybe we can each pick a handful of games from Day of the Devs, which we both went to on Sunday through
Yeah, that
some of
was
the
great.
conversations we had
Yeah,
after, and just go back to back, sharing some stuff that stood out. How's that sound?
that sounds good.
All right.
Yeah, I can get started.
You go first. Okay.
I think it's called Super Shotgun Cop.
Oh,
is
it's called
it?
Shotgun Cop.
Oh yeah. That game looked really great. It's a very kind of precise, twitchy 2D platformers where you control this shotgun cop that uses its gun both as kind of like a weapon, but also as a locomotion
Yeah.
gun. The graphics are crazy. It's really hard to describe, actually. It's both very 2D and flat, but then it zooms into these like really bizarre kind of character models. It just looks super fun, super Meat Boy, Celeste-ish kind of type game. That's on my top 3 of games I want to play.
Nice. All right, I'm going to go with Time Flies, which is this 1-bit hyper minimalist game where you play as a housefly. You have a limited lifespan, which adds urgency. You're creating these tiny acts of chaos, ruining food, annoying people, and it's incredible. Like the most stripped down visuals that you can imagine, but still so much imagination and so many little details. And I saw this game, I got a chance to play this game. It was remarkable how much personality can exist in such a visually restrained package. I loved it, and I think it's going to be a huge hit.
Yeah, and it just looks so good. The game I have next is Dreams of Another. You're walking around in your pajamas, surrounded by very abstract shape, and you recreate the world by shooting at it with your gun.
Yeah.
I think part of it, because it's made by Q Games, who lately released like All You Need Is Help and stuff with, I don't know how they're related to Pixel Junk, but they've definitely made stuff that you've seen and know. But that game looks really, really interesting.
I think it looked wild. It's like an interesting take on creation, destruction, the relationship between them.
Yeah.
Hard to tell if it's mature or not, because you see these beautiful things, but you also see automatic weapons, and that juxtaposition is interesting, but I don't know what the rating for a game like that's going to be.
Yeah.
All right, I've got another one for you. This one, when I first saw this, I thought I was looking at a game that I played last year, but the more I stood by and watched it, and the pacing and the character in it, the more I was kind of blown away and excited. And this game was called Isopod. And Isopod is a 3D platformer where you play as an adorable little pill bug. You're navigating the world from the insect perspective. So it looks like Empire of Ants, which is a game that I wanted to love it. It's really beautiful. The gameplay didn't click with me. And this takes that perspective and that attention to detail, but it kind of puts it in almost like a Spider-Man sense. It moves incredibly fast. You can zip around, you can turn into a ball, you can destroy obstacles. It moves at an incredible pace, and it really feels authentically bug scale. And I think there's something really empowering about taking down massive enemies when you're just a tiny little bug. Made by a very small team, looks incredible, and I'm very excited for more games to take place at insect perspectives.
We need more games where you're like a tiny thing in a big world.
I love
it. I got a couple. I think I'm trying to pick from my list there. I mean, I'll just do some runners up here. Far Away, which is like this really, it's an Annapurna published game. Really simple concept that you kind of fly this comet across constellations, beautiful 2D art. Feels very satisfying to play.
It's beautiful,
Haste,
beautiful scales.
Where you're just running really fast, and I think it gives that real sense of moving really fast. It's maybe like the best version of a 3D Sonic game I've seen. I know obvious people that love those Sonic games, they're saying that, but I don't think I've ever enjoyed a 3D Sonic game, and this feels like that's what it should feel like. My Arms Are Longer Now, where you play somebody with really long arms. I think
it was on my list as well.
Yeah.
It's a detective game.
Yeah,
it's like a detective thief hybrid game.
Okay. There was To a T, which is like the Keita Takahashi, which is the game. Has a game where you play as this boy that's stuck in the T pose and has to navigate the world. It also has like a subtle it's a dialogue around disability and and without kind of forcing the topic, kind of tells a pretty interesting story around that and makes you experience that in a different way. So I thought that was really interesting. Also, it's delightful because it's from the person behind Katamari, so it's really nice. The one I'm actually looking forward to trying is Mindwave. Crazy art style, it's WarioWare, but even MarioWare is kind of this game that feels like it's cranked up to 11. This is maybe cranked up to 12. Really great use of sound and transitions and animation. Just mechanically, even though it's quite simple and every action you take is something you might have seen before, the way it's all executed together feels really novel. And I think people are going to really dig that game. I think it's great.
Good picks, man. All right. You kind of cheated because I said one more and you had some numbers up. So I'm gonna do the same thing. So I know it's another farming simulator, but Super Farming Boy was a very irreverent take on farming simulators. I thought there was this 90s animation aesthetic that really resonated with me, and I feel like this game is if Harvest Moon chugged some energy drinks and started wearing sunglasses indoors, it would be Super Farming Boy. So that's an honorable mention for me. Neon Abyss 2. So this is a sequel. It had some of the most beautiful neon infused visuals I've seen, a mix with these really interesting kind of symbolic systems, silky smooth platforming, amazing weapon combinations, and I think a lot of it was procedurally generated with random room placement. And I just think, it was doing interesting stuff in roguelike. I also want to give a shout out to Asafa Guys, which was this kind of rage game with these like Ren and Stimpy inspired aesthetics. You control people with super long, weird winding necks and kind of have to grappling hook around. The art direction in that game was wild. But my number one was a game I don't think I knew I would have picked because I don't play a lot of arcade brawler beat 'em ups. Jay and Silent Bob's Chronic Blunt Punch, which is, to me, it felt like an homage to, Streets of Rage, Simpsons Arcade. It was gorgeous. The animation was absolutely beautiful. I know Kevin Smith is involved, so it's accurate to the franchise. But for me, the thing that really stood out was the writing in this game. Every time I looked at the screen, whether it was a trailer or when I got to play it, I was just cracking up at the background art and storytelling in this game. And I think that those details make these games fun because sometimes you're just beating up for so long, you need something else to do while you're playing. Yeah, man, I look forward to the next one. All right, buddy. Good chatting with you. Love talking games. All right, bye, everybody.